Cooperation is the process of groups of organisms working or acting together for their common, mutual benefit, as opposed to working in competition for selfish benefit. Many animal and plant species cooperate both with other members of their own species and with members of other species. In humans, language allows humans to cooperate on a very large scale. Certain studies have shown that fairness affects human cooperation. Individuals are willing to punish at their own cost if they believe that they are being treated unfairly. Sanfi, al. conducted an experiment where 19 individuals were scanned using MRI while playing an ultimatum game in the role of the responder. They were receiving offers from other human partners and from a computer partner. Remarkably, responders refused unfair offers from human partners at a significantly higher rate than those by a computer partner. The experiment also showed that altruistic punishment is associated with negative emotions that are being generated in unfair situations by the anterior insula of the brain. It has been observed that image scoring promotes cooperative behavior in situations where direct reciprocity is unlikely. In situations where reputation and status are involved, humans tend to cooperate more. In animals, cooperation exists not only in humans but in animals as well. This behavior appears, however, to occur mostly between relatives. Spending time and resources assisting a related individual may at first seem destructive to the organism's chances of survival but is actually beneficial over the long term, since relatives share part of their genetic makeup. Enhancing each other's chances of survival may actually increase the likelihood that the helper's genetic traits will be passed on to future generations. Some researchers assert that cooperation is more complex than this. They maintain that helpers may receive more direct, and less indirect, gains from assisting others than is commonly reported. Furthermore, they insist that cooperation may not solely be an interaction between two individuals but may be part of the broader goal of unifying populations. Kin selection. One specific form of cooperation in animals is kin selection, which can be defined as animals helping to rear a relative's offspring in order to enhance their own fitness. Different theories explaining kin selection have been proposed, including the pay-to-stay and territory inheritance hypotheses. The pay-to-stay theory suggests that individuals help others rear offspring in order to return the favor of the breeders, allowing them to live on their land. The territory inheritance theory contends that individuals help in order to have improved access to breeding areas once the breeders depart. These two hypotheses both appear to be valid, at least in cichlid fish. Studies conducted on red wolves support previous researchers' contention that helpers obtain both immediate and long-term gains from cooperative breeding. Researchers evaluated the consequences of red wolves' decisions to stay with their packs for extended periods of time after birth. It was found that this delayed dispersal, while it involved helping other wolves rear their offspring, extended male wolves' lifespans. These findings suggest that kin selection may not only benefit an individual in the long term in terms of increased fitness but in the short term as well through enhanced chance of survival. Some research even suggests that certain species provide more help to the individuals with which they are more closely related. This phenomenon is known as kin discrimination. In their meta-analysis, researchers compiled data on kin selection as mediated by genetic relatedness in 18 species, including the western bluebird, pied kingfisher, Australian magpie, and dwarf mongoose. They found that different species exhibited varying degrees of kin discrimination, with the largest frequencies occurring among those who have the most to gain from cooperative interactions. One reason may be that if the prisoner's dilemma situation is repeated, it allows non-cooperation to be punished more, and cooperation to be rewarded more, than the single-shot version of the problem would suggest. It has been suggested that this is one reason for the evolution of complex emotions in higher life forms, who, at least as infants, and are usually thereafter, cannot survive without cooperating, although with maturation they gain much more choice about the kinds of cooperation they wish to have. In any case, two more recent games, the Ultimatum game and the Dictator game, showed that different context-related experimentations may lead to completely different results. In particular, this is shown in the Dictator's game, in which there are two human agents, one of which, the ruler, is asked to decide the amount of wealth, usually in money, between 100% and 0%. She is going to keep for him, herself, and the one she is going to leave to the other human agent, which, in this game, is completely passive. Even if a rational, economic behavior would lead to keep the whole amount of good, it hasn't happened in experimentations, where human agents tend to share a variable amount of their goods anyway. These results were also considered as strong evidence of the absence of supposed rational actors in economy, especially from a neuroeconomics perspective.